Good evening, VC. Welcome to Grandma's Handbag. Great to have you with us tonight. My name's Dean, and yeah, look, it's Monday night here, and I'm I'm really actually excited for some weird reason to get in and make this episode happen. As you saw, the handbag is back, meaning we've got some vinyl finds. Some new and second hand stuff. I've even got some CDs in at the end, so yeah, if you don't like those ones, you can skip away at the end there. But I've picked up things new second hand. I've got some new orders that have just come in from overseas, so yeah, I'm really excited to get into the handbag at this time. And that aside, I've got more episodes lined up that they'll be coming in, so I feel like I'm almost behind. Does anyone else get that way as well? You know, when you got all these streams of things coming in, second-hand goods over here and new orders coming in there, and it's just like all these balls are in the air when you're juggling them. So I need to get these off my chest, get them onto the camera, show them to you guys, and yeah, let me know what you think as well. Alright, I mean, I don't know the best way to do this, but I think we just need to jump in. And I am forgetting, first things first though, Grandma's little helper. It feels, that's good warming stuff. Jack Daniel's Master Distiller Series number 3. 43%, and look, when you got the fun house here, you want to make it a fun house and pour yourself a bit of Jack and get your rock and roll on, and that's what I'm about ready to do right now. Yes, alright, let's do it. First one, what do we got here? This one, Rolling Stones, Get Your Ya-Ya's Out. This is an Aussie pressing. I think it might be a second pressing from 69 or, sorry, 1970 I think this was released, wasn't it? Anyway, this is a upgrade copy for me. Pretty nice condition as well. Blue Decca label, and it's peak period Stones for me. Early outing for Mick Taylor, from memory. But look, what's not to love on this one? Street Fighting Man, Midnight Rambler, the 8.5 minute version, live one. There's just so much goodness for this one, so really happy to get an upgrade on that. And I think that one costs me around about 20 Australian dollars, so you know, all good. Next one, Bob Dylan, Highway 61 Revisited. What more can I say about this? I mean, on a given day, this could be my favourite Dylan album. On another day, it could be my second. Anyway, it's up there. You know it's up there. This is an Australian 1969 stereo press. Yeah, and like I said, what more can I say? Any album that starts with Like a Rolling Stone and ends up on Desolation Row. You know, yeah, that's a classic, whatever falls in between them, but there's so much more. It's just, yeah, look, put this on and it's like coming home for me. It's just that raw, visceral, wild, mercurial brilliance of Electric Bob, early Electric Bob. Okay, next one. I think I showed a CD on this the other week, and like I said, there was a bunch of orders that I was bringing in from overseas, and I couldn't resist it. It was 15 or 16 euro with a few extra for postage in there. Anyway, yeah, a vinyl copy of La Dusseldorf, their third album from 1980 or 81. And yeah, if I reiterate before, not their best work by any means, but I yeah, look, it's still some great stuff. You've got the usual Dinger La Dusseldorf idea of sort of repeating a theme or a phrase. So you've got mention 1, mention 2 coming in, and then, you know, even songs like Flashback, sort of flashback literally to those, you know, Noi 2, where they regurgitate or you know, chop up the sound tape of an earlier song on the album and play that back. So I think the cover's also a pretty good representation of what you've got in here. There's already this sort of feeling of a nostalgia, which is probably shot through with lots of La Dusseldorf stuff for mine anyway. But yeah, great to have that one on board as well. And look, also, because that order was coming from Germany, and I've had the CD since it got re-released, but couldn't resist the debut album for Noi as well. Again, Hallo Gallo, Negative Land, Lieber Honig, it's just essential, absolutely essential. This is one of those moments, I think, in rock music where lightning struck, you know. So yeah, very, very pleased to have it. Also, I don't know exactly when this was pressed, but very lovely to have it on white vinyl as well. Just a bonus. I wasn't entirely sure that it was going to be, but there you go. So, and speaking of lovely colours, I really have to come and show you this. Just picked this up the other day. This is the 2017 reissue. God, I love that. I mean, this is why gatefolds are made, isn't it? You know, the whole glory of that inner sleeve there. Brilliant stuff. Funhouse. Again, what more can you say? I suppose first off, I had to pick this up. What I do with my collection is, you know, you've got those sort of cheaper finds, or ones that you can take a gamble on. You know, the blind buys and the things you stumble on that are you know, well priced, that you can afford to take a risk on. But then what you've also got after that are albums like this, where I've loved them for years and years, and I want them on vinyl. So, you know, for a new copy, new re-release, it wasn't a hard decision to make. I think this actually cost me about 24-25 Australian dollars, brand new for a 2017 issue. You've got to do your due diligence on Discogs and places like that, where people can tell you what the press is like. I heard one or two dissenting views on the press, but mostly fairly positive as well. I haven't played it, believe it or not. I know, it's pretty disappointing. But yeah, and not only that, but you do get a pretty wild coloured slab of vinyl there. The beautiful Electra Butterfly. I never get tired of seeing that guy around. It's probably one of my favourite labels. You know, does anyone else agree on that one? Lovely, lovely piece. But yeah, that orange is just completely wild. Great, great stuff. And what more can I say about the music inside it, you know? You all know what it is. I have to say, side 2, you know, when Steve Mackey's saxophone really sort of crashes in, it never used to be my favourite side, but the more and more I get into jazz music, free jazz and things like that, the more that side 2 and you know, LA blues especially, just completely, it just makes all the sense in the world. Love it, absolutely love it. Alright, last record, and this is a new release, or newish release. I think this is actually from last year. But William Tyler, Modern Country. Really liked what I heard, a couple of songs of this, and thought that's got to be worth a punt for an album, and I really haven't been disappointed thus far. Actually, I will tell a lie. The only disappointment I had was opening it up after a sticker explicitly said there was going to be a download code inside, and there's nothing. So I might contact the label about that one and see what they can do. Merge Records, they're usually pretty good with this stuff. Actually, last time I ordered something from them, they actually sent out a bit of a freebie. It might not have been music, but it might have been some stickers or a CD as a freebie all the way up from America to Australia. So anyway, William Tyler, Modern Country. The cover, the title sort of cracks me up in a way, because that's what sold it to me. The first, this notion of modern country. You know, I don't know why. It's anachronistic. It's felt like a weird thing in a way, but at the same time, something I thought I'd be very interested in. And in the end, the resemblance to country music, I suppose I was buying partly on that as well. There's not a hell of a lot there. It's very roots based. I would say more folk than anything, but this kind of not completely astral folk, but very much mood based folk. You know, it's almost all instrumental. I think there's a couple of peripherals of Wilco in there. Glenn Cocchi, I think, is on drums. Another one out of Tweedy's on there, but this is all William Tyler's show, and lovely stuff as well, I have to say. Echoes of John Fay in there when it gets to more fingerpick sort of guitar, but I'm kind of obsessed at the moment with the last track here, The Great Unwind, and it's this gorgeous, 8-minute yawning piece that to me is almost the most modern country you get out of this album. The first sort of half of it is this really laid back but powerful, reverbed, overdriven guitar that sort of takes its time to unwind, as The Great Unwind is as it's called. And then halfway through it sort of turns as the song's finished, and it goes into this lovely 4-odd minute coda that really reminds me of the guys out of Little Feat, as heard on John Cale's Paris 1919. If you can think of the sort of gorgeous, vaguely countryish pastoral licks and little bits of guitar, not quite pedal steel, but slide guitar and things, absolutely gorgeous. So half of it's got that Little Feat John Cale feel. The first half is more almost the clean and that overdriven guitar feel. Just beautiful. I'll try and put a link or something if I can find one. Beautiful stuff there. Really worth it. Alright, got a few more things to show you now. I've got some CDs here, just ones that I've picked up, and yeah. First one, Rolling Stones 12x5. I think this is about their second full-length album, if you take it as an American album. Yeah, plenty of classics on here. Probably not up to the standard of the debut, but there's still some great stuff on there. Time Is on My Side, Confessing the Blues, It's All Over Now, Under the Boardwalk, Susie Q. So yeah, fantastic. Very happy to have it. Next one, I heard the other week James, the Vinyl Professor, talking about this, and managed to find a copy on CD. And yeah, Viva Hate debut from Morrissey, debut solo anyway. And yeah, good listen. Interestingly, I had to read up on this because this is a 2012 reissue, and it sort of carries on Morrissey's penchant, if I can say that word, for resurrecting heritage labels. So he's done that with Liberty. I think he resurrected the Harvest label. He also took an old reggae label called Attack, I think, for one of his albums in the mid-2000s. It's a very interesting thing he does there. But interestingly, this 2012 issue here makes no mention whatsoever of the guitarist Vinnie Riley from the Girardi column. Very interesting, that. Even to the point also where he has substituted a song on here compared to the original running order of the album. Yeah, it's almost like he's trying to manage his own legacy here by rewriting history. Don't know how I feel about that. That aside, I think the Vinyl Professor said that this album was probably his favourite of Morrissey's because it was almost the least histrionic or over the top that Morrissey gets. It's almost all about the songs here, and I completely see what he means. It's very interesting. You know, yeah, some great songs on here, and I have to say the closer, never having heard Margaret on the Guillotine before, really actually took me by surprise. Beautiful song, and that ending is chilling. Yeah. Anyway, next one. Neil Young's Dead Man soundtrack. I used to have this and sold it, and I couldn't resist picking it back up. It's great. I really enjoyed it. It's a Jim Jarmusch film. And yeah, the dialogue interspersed with Neil Young's, you know, craggy, crusty solo guitar. Very expressive, and yeah, look, I think it's a winner. Maybe not everyone's favourite Neil Young, but certainly is for me. Next one. This is an interesting little one. Cookies by the 1990s. And this came out, I think, about 2007. It's a Rough Trade Records one. And this sort of thing, I remember hearing about it at the time, and it's everything that I remember. Well, geez, 10 years ago now. I love it. 12 songs, 36 minutes. It's just straight up and down indie pop. You know, it's all about guitars. It's a 3-piece and fantastic stuff. Scott's guys, they're all pretty unassuming, but what you tend to forget with this, on this album, no Johnny Come Latelys. You know, they've got 10 years of pedigree playing in bands like Yummy Fur, who were originally had Alex from Franz Ferdinand, and also another underrated Scots band called V-Twin. So yeah, really, really good stuff in here. Also, it's produced by Bernard Butler from Suede, and I think they give a special nod to Edwyn Collins on here for using all of his equipment and bag of tricks and stuff. Yeah, I think that's going to be a keeper. Alright, a couple more now. This one, Yo La Tengo, I Can Hear the Heart Beating as One. I'm surprised how long it's taken me to get this. So this is the 20th anniversary of this album. The one after this, Nothing Turned Itself Inside Out, is an absolute touchstone for me. And I've always heard this being up there as well. And yeah, I have to say it's definitely up there. Maybe not quite at the peak for me. But, you know, it's still peak period Yo La Tengo, I would have to say. That instrumental Return to Hot Chicken, I don't know, it's everything that you would expect from a Yo La Tengo album. If anyone doesn't know them, it's, you know, it's US indie rock there's a real strong Velvet Underground, but it's almost anything that you heard in the 1960s via the 1990s, you know, whether it be sort of bossa nova, space age stuff. It could have been German krautrock, I hate that term, but anyway, from the 60s and 70s, that sort of motoric driving beat, or it could be, you know, there's a Beach Boys undercurrent to some of the songs. There's, you know, they're basically the ultimate music fans band in a way, and I know for some people that can grate, but you know, when it works, it really works for them. This album's got Sugar Cube on it. That's at, you know, prime alt indie rock of the 90s. Deeper into Movies, more of the same of that. It's a great song. And then you got their quieter side like Autumn Sweater and Moby Octopad. Very interesting. Their long drawn out 10-minute track in Spec Bebop, not one of their better epics in my mind, but still happy to have it. And lastly, we've got I don't know, I'll just show you it. Vampires Weekend, Modern Vampires of the City, their third album. Will it be their last? I feel like it might actually be. And the weird thing with Vampire Weekend, I'm always about 5 years behind these guys, so it took me that long to get their debut album, and after resisting, absolutely loved it. The second album, heard for the first time last year, didn't quite grab me as much, but the other day got this one, and look, love it. You know, it's it's back to what I remember, that sort of really inventive arrangements and songwriting. Like, if I was to characterize them, I always get this classic Kink style songwriting. There's this sort of, not quite show tunes or music hall, but like very evolved, smart pop songwriting. Kink's via the Talking Heads, if I was going to put anything in there, you know. Especially in the lead singer's vocals, they're very rubbery stuff. You know, yeah, if this is their last album, what a way to go out. I have to admit though, from here, I don't know where else they go to. I mean, they're getting really good at saying what they do, you know. They're just, it's Vampire Weekend, but it's more a case in future of, you know, will they have anything fresh to say? I hope they do. I mean, I really love their stuff, but we'll just have to wait and see. Alright, thanks everyone. Thanks for joining in. Really appreciate it. You know, if you got any comments or anything, I'd love to hear from you again. I've got a whole bunch of things coming up. There could be vinyl finds or a big bulk lot that I'm cooking up, so I'm really hoping there's going to be something good to show you in there. It could be tons. There could be up to 100 records, I'm thinking. So anyway, there will be that in the pipeline, and I want to do a record review as well. And there's more. So anyway, I'm going to leave it at this tonight. Cheers from Grandma's Handbag. Thank you for joining us, and I'll see you again very soon.